is...
Oh.
What's up?
Oh, it sounds like you're home and ready for me today. This is a pleasant surprise.
You're 7 minutes late.
No. I said when do you want?
Between 5. I said between 5 and 7. I know.
So I'm prompt.
Very prompt. Very prompt.
I give you a little bit of window because if I call you at 5, it's like too close to the window opening where, plus I had to pee. So what are you going to do?
I mean, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Well, we're going, pal. We're live, pal. Since we talked earlier, I think it was earlier today. Maybe it was yesterday. All the days blur into one. But I've really been like full of regret over not like playing dumb longer and pretending like we couldn't figure out who the mystery person was. That was sending me free food because
that probably was a bad idea because you probably could have got some good stuff out of it.
We could have milked that another 2 weeks, easy.
Right,
easy. Now, but just to fill you in because I know you don't listen to any podcasts that you're not involved with.
Right.
But we on Saturday during the podcast, I surreptitiously gave Bobby Marco's address, so that he could start signing him up for the Lima Bean of the Week club.
You think he's really going to do that?
I have no idea. I hope they just get like boxes full of frozen vegetables sent to them like every 4 days. There's just like, it's 5 pounds of green beans today.
Right. And what's funny about that is who the fuck wants vegetables like that?
Oh.
Especially when your friend was getting Doritos and
right
and chocolate covered pretzels.
Well,
I'd be pissed.
The lucky thing for him is it's the best of both worlds because he could just come over to my place and grab a bag anytime he wanted. So
right. Wow. Yeah, this could be good. I'm surprised that he didn't order more stuff for you. Like there wasn't more in the pipeline. Because I thought there would be. For sure.
When he was on,
right,
and he like made the offhand joke. So you want McDonald's tonight? I should have called his bluff and said, "Sure, why not?"
You should have
just to see if
You're
he
like,
would.
No.
Just to see if he would have done it. If the gravy train was still rolling, or if he was bluffing.
I don't think he's bluffing.
No, I mean,
come on, that guy.
Yeah, I think he's good at reading. He's got a talent, and he'll call a bluff, but I don't. Right. Yeah, you're right. I don't think he bluffs very often.
No, yeah. But hey, it worked. He got himself on the show.
It really did. I think, honestly, I think we're calling him on Thursday. He may be our Thursday.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, I need some answers to some questions. I was telling Marco, I said after he was on,
right?
He had mentioned a few things. So I went to go look up something he said. I don't remember what it was on the internet.
Right.
And there were some articles on him when I Googled his name, and like I need more information.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I need information on 2 stories. The first is when he tried to auction his kidney on eBay.
I remember that. Yep.
And when he offered to cut his pinky off when he lost the match in ECW.
It was Terry Funk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just need more I just need all the gaps filled in, all the details, all the who, what, where, when, why, and how about it.
Right.
I'm just curious, and I think they make good stories for people.
Yeah, I got some feedback from the last podcast that we had him on, and here's some words that were used. That podcast was chaotic. Chaotic. Somebody said it was all over the place, and I can't even imagine the stories he has about you. I said, "No, there's no stories about me. I don't have any stories." He's lying.
That was half of the chaos. Was I think people could feel your just general sense
uneasiness.
general sense of dread and panic that was like vibrating through the phone into the computer. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you don't blame me? Come on. You can't blame me for that.
I mean, listen. You
can't blame me for that.
Listen, I say let's just own up to our shit at this point.
There's nothing up to. He was making those stories up.
They're good stories. They need to be told. I don't want to wait. I don't think people want to wait to read it in a book 20 years from now. I think.
Well, yeah, he had me nervous. I was nervous. Yeah, for sure.
You should be. I haven't known you nearly as long as he does, and I know you should be nervous. There's so many. There's good stories from the past year or two that you won't tell.
Right. This is true. This is true.
I'll get you. I think it's about time to talk about the TikTok meetup at some point.
No, not right now. I'm not ready for that.
You said you were going to be ready for that like 6 months ago, and now we're
no. But I will say this. I will kind of tell a story today.
Okay.
Kind of.
Because
there's a funny part that happened today. But I'm not going to tell the whole story.
Oh, well,
I will kind of tell it. Well, I'll tell the story.
Here we go.
So today, I'm going to kind of work. We're going to kind of go from today back to the future and then back to today.
Okay.
So today was my daughter's 8th grade graduation.
Okay. I know what story you're
All right. You've wanted this story for so long. It's got to be told.
It's got to be told.
I have my daughter's 8th grade graduation today. Well, first of all, it's outside, 95 degrees outside. I mean, my balls are sweating. It's so hot. It's on the football field. You sit in those metal bleachers. There's no cover. Hot as shit. So middle of the day. Well, you got to be there at 1:45, so it's blazing hot. All right. So there I am. And as I'm pulling in, I see someone that I know. Mm-hmm. Okay? Well, we'll leave it at that for a second. Mm-hmm. Someone I know that I have not seen in a very long time, a couple of years since I moved here, and I do not want to see. Okay? Right. All right. So this person, I had a relationship of some sorts with when I first moved here. I moved here to Georgia. I was bored. I went on Tinder, Bumble. I took that damn Blake Chadwick's advice. I'll never take his advice again.
Oh my God.
I went on there, and I met a couple girls here and there. My kids weren't here yet. My son was in New York. My daughter was with my mom and dad. And I met up with a girl, and had a good date or whatever. Whatever. It was fun, and we kind of started seeing each other because my kids weren't here. I had nothing to do. It is what it is, right? So, so anyway, we started dating, and I kind of would spend some time at her house, and not even kind of. I would spend a lot of time at her house because, and I'm talking this is 2 months. That's it, right? 2 months. I spent some time at her house. I would stay there sometimes because I was staying at JoJo's house, which was 2 hours away. So I was commuting every day to work 2 hours. Well, she lived here in town, so sometimes I would stay here because I hadn't bought my house yet.
Right.
So because I hadn't sold my house yet in California.
Right.
So anyway, I was commuting, and so sometimes I would stay at her house a couple days just so I didn't have to commute back and forth. Whatever, right? I'm an awful person, I know. Whatever. Anyway, the convenience was definitely part of it, but it also was, I didn't have anybody here. I didn't have my kids. I didn't know what to do with myself. She was nice. So
I mean, it's when someone offers to touch your penis, you gotta be polite,
Right. So we were dating, for a couple months, and my kids had come. My kids came. I bought my house, but it hadn't been closed on yet. I had to wait a couple weeks. So when my kids came, I introduced her to my kids. Her kids, one of her kids went to school with my daughter. So they are in the same school. To make this even better,
not the same grade, or not the same?
Same grade, same grade, same school.
Which I guess would make sense for today.
Same grade, same school. Same grade, same school. Whatever, it is what it is. Okay, so my kids met her, whatever. We were only there a couple of weeks, and she changed. She changed as a person because I don't think when I didn't have my kids there. Now she has kids, so she shouldn't have changed. But when my kids got there, she kind of started to change because I gave a lot of attention to my kids because that's what I do, and she didn't like that. So things started changing. The relationship was just not good. And if anybody says, "Oh, I can't believe you introduced your kids," like, my kids are older. I never treated my kids like babies. My kids are tough as shit sometimes Nick is, but tough as shit when it comes to like life stuff like that. Like they don't get fazed by that. So anyway, we were there, and the kids were just like, "Hey," my kids didn't like her, and they were like, "We don't like her. She's just like mean to us, this and that." And I believe my kids because there's no reason for them to lie about that. So, especially Lex. Nick could be a liar half the time because that's Nick. But Lex, all right, he's Nick the Dick. But Lex, I believe them. Whatever, I believe both of them. And I was like, okay, there's something here. And I watched how she changed. And one night,
is she staying over at your place all the time now?
I didn't have a place yet.
Oh, okay.
My house wasn't closed on yet.
Okay.
So my house hadn't been.
So this is going on before you even have the house.
Right.
Okay. So where she's changed. Okay.
Right. So the house wasn't closed yet. So anyway, things are changing. And part of it, I'll take the blame. My kids were back with me because, they had been on a little summer trips, whatever, with my mom and dad. Nick was in New York with my brother. And when they came back, I was like, all right, I changed too because now I have my kids to pay attention to. And, and maybe that's shitty of me that I did that for that time period. Whatever. Suck a dick. I don't care. Anyway, long story short, we were out of town. We were actually down there in Florida.
I was gonna bring that up. I was like, where does the trip, the family trip with your girlfriend? Oh, we were like, right. So, we were giving you the shit because you're like, you're on a trip with her,
right?
Down in Florida where you can't see us, but you can hang out with some rando Tinder. Oh,
right. Well, and here's the best part. I don't know if you know this part of the story. So, and this all ties into our podcast.
Okay.
So, when we came down there for the trip, it was in July, and I think it was July 4th weekend or something. We came down there for this trip. Well, there was a lot of tension, a lot of animosity. The kids weren't getting along. My kids are, like I said, I never treated them like babies. They're super strong kids. And her kids were not as strong. And, Nick can be an asshole. We know that. We all know that Nick's the dick.
Yeah.
So, sometimes he goes too far with shit. Anyway, the kids were fighting. We weren't getting along. It was not a fun trip. Well, we went to meet Billy Fives one night. Let me rephrase that. We went to dinner. No, I'm going to rephrase this. I went to dinner with her and my mom and dad. We were in Hollywood. And I texted Billy and said, I'm in Hollywood. And in Billy Fives fashion, he said, where? I said, we're at Margaritaville. And Billy said, I'm at La Tub, which is literally across the street.
Yeah, it's within walking distance. Yeah.
So Billy comes over, him and my dad, hug. Oh, they haven't seen each other in years. They're talking. She was so rude to Billy and to my family that night. That night is when I said, okay, when I get I got to get rid of her because, you're not going to be an asshole to my family. You're definitely not going to be an asshole to Billy Fives.
Now, when you were down in Florida, had you closed on the house yet?
I closed on the house at the pool. The house here, they sent somebody the papers, a notary in Fort Lauderdale. He came to the hotel. I signed the papers. I got out of the pool and signed the papers right there.
Okay.
For the house here.
Yeah, so, now the timeline's shaping up for me because I knew bits and pieces of the story, but I didn't know, which came first, what's the chicken, what's the egg, and all that,
Right. So when I got back, we got back, and we were going to move into this house. Right. I was going to move into this house. And she had been really pushing the issue about like moving in, and a lot of things were red flags at that point because she asked like why I didn't put her name on the house or why like my bank account info. Why do we share a bank account? Now we've been dating for 2 months, like 3 months. So now, I mean, flags. I'm calling everybody I know, panicking. Like I don't even know. I felt so trapped. I didn't know how to get out of it. Right. So when that happens to me, I shut down. I became a total I wasn't an asshole. I just shut down. Like I stopped talking to her.
It's so funny because it's like your way of handling it is to hopefully just piss them off enough that they leave you. And I would just have told her to kick fucking rocks the second she's asking about name on the thing and being rude to Billy. And I might have even left her in Florida and said, find your own way home.
Right.
But don't come back and call me.
Well, when we got back, I like had closed on the house and I had moved some of my stuff over here that I had. I had some stuff shipped here, and I had some stuff that I brought with me that I had brought with me from California.
Yeah.
So that I had at JoJo's house a lot of stuff, and then some stuff I had like clothes I had at her house.
So you had shit everywhere. You were like in 3 states.
Right.
Yeah.
So and still my stuff was in California. So anyway, I had like taken my stuff and started moving it here or whatever, and she was just adamant about like selling her house and moving here, and my red flags were just everywhere because then I started to think, is her house in foreclosure? Like I just can't imagine, and I don't handle that shit very well. I'll admit it, I am the worst at it.
It stuns me that you didn't just say no.
Well, I always I don't handle that stuff well, and I always put myself in the worst fucking situations. So
now you're freaking out because you don't want to be with her. She's like moving in, and you're thinking that you're absorbing her debt or foreclosures and stuff.
Right. And so it was all this stuff, and I would say in my head I kind of started to think, okay, maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe I should talk to her. We can work it out. I mean, she was a nice person, before, and maybe this kid, I don't know.
I think
I was like, no.
But I think you were talking to us at the time, and we were telling.
I was
like, I know I was politicking hard for you to just just put a foot in her ass and point her in the direction away from you.
Right. And I'll admit I am a fucking pansy when it comes to that shit. I don't like confrontation like that. So I didn't know what to do. I was calling my mom, my dad, talking to you guys, JoJo, Eric, and I'd say, I don't know what to do. Well, I had to go on a work trip. So my work trip, unfortunately, my kids had to stay with her because I didn't have anybody here, and I was forced to go on this work trip.
Jesus.
So I went, and the second day in, my kids are like, hey, she was just being like an asshole to them. And then I would ask her, and she was like, no, I don't, I'm not being like that. I don't know what they're talking about. So I'm like, okay, and my kids were like, don't say anything to her. Like they were like, they didn't want to even get involved in that. So I was like, okay, when I come back, we're done. Like I got to cut it off. Right. And it's not even that she was watching my kids. It's just, I mean, my kids they can do anything themselves. She was just the adult, but whatever. Probably stupid on my part again. But I was in a really bad situation. Like my mom and dad hadn't lived close yet. I couldn't get them to come here. It was just too much shit. Anyway, I come back and to my house that I just moved in.
Can I pause there?
Yeah.
Do you think subconsciously you tried to string it out so that she was there for just as an adult in the house for your kids while you were on this trip?
Kinda, which is crazy that I put I shouldn't have put my kids in that situation. But again, my kids they're tough.
Yeah, I don't think you put them in the situation because it's not
because they don't care. Right,
if she tries to beat them, they're gonna fucking blacken her eye and they'll do your job for you and kick her out of the house.
Right.
I mean,
and she wouldn't have done that. She's not that evil of a person, but she just they were just I think the kids were all fighting and whatever. It may have been just too much for her to handle, and of course she's gonna take it out on my kids because they're not her kids. So anyway, the whole situation was fucked up. I put myself in a really bad situation. So I came home, and she was here at my house because they had been staying here apparently the whole week when I was gone. Now she still owned her house. Like, she didn't not own her house. So she still owned her house, and but they were here all week.
How much of her shit was in your house?
Yeah, pretty much all of
it. So she owned an empty house and was living in your house.
Right. Yes. I was gone for 4 days in Helen, Georgia. And I came home, and it was like I panicked. I freaked out. But that's when it blew up, and I was like, you got to go. And she's like, I was like, you got to get out of here. Like, you have to go. You have to leave. Like, I was like, we're done. And it was a pretty big ordeal. You know, like, it was bad. And she's like, well, I can't just go back right away. So she kind of just sat here for a couple of weeks.
How can you not go back right away? You have a house. It's not like
right, because all her shit was here.
Right. Well,
so she was crazy. Like, right, and she didn't like, you know, she's like, well, I don't have the money to move back and this and that. And I was like, what? Like,
money?
Yeah. So right, to move all her stuff back. And I was like, I'll do it. And I was like, we're done. Like, big blow up. Like, it was a huge blow up, right? I mean, I slept on the couch in my brand new house for like 3 weeks downstairs because, and I don't know if it was 3 weeks. It may have been shorter than that.
No.
But one day.
It was 3 weeks.
It was 3 weeks.
It was
right?
3 weeks that you had a squatter in your house.
Right. Right. So I, one day, called a moving company, and I paid $700 out of my pocket for them to come here and literally pack her shit and bring it to her house.
Bro, was that like one of the best expenses in your life? Was that like
I was mad about
most?
You know how cheap I am.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, wasn't that worth it more than almost anything?
Oh, right, for sure it was. There's no doubt. But you know me, I'm cheap. I'm cheap as fuck, and I hate that shit.
We were yelling at you, man, because it was like you're telling us about this, and like then you wouldn't bring it up, and then like 5 days later I'd be like, so what's the story? Did you ever resolve that? And you're like, no, she's still here. I won't talk. She's not talking to me, and she won't.
Yeah, we're even speaking.
She won't leave, and I'm like, I didn't know you were you weren't even sleeping in your own bedroom. I thought she had claimed her own room in your house and was.
I didn't even buy a couch because I hadn't even had a couch. I bought a couch from Big Lots that was like $100 just to have till I found a real couch, and I was sleeping on this tiny midget couch for like 3 weeks. Oh my God. And JoJo had a joke because when I got divorced, I had moved back in with my parents with the kids, and you know I lived there for a couple of years. I primarily slept on the couch because I gave the kids the bed. They had bunk beds, and I slept on the couch. And I slept on the couch for years at my parents' house until I was able to like get out on my own.
Yeah.
So that was the joke, was I was back on the couch, just like it was my parents' house, but it was my house that I was paying the mortgage for. But I had sent her, So anyway, these guys came, they moved all her shit out, literally just moved her out one day. And she was like, what is going on? I was like, you're out. So they came, moved all her shit. I paid $700 for it.
The funny thing would have been if you had them move it, like, not to her house, but just to, like,
somewhere else.
Just like a random parking lot somewhere or something.
I'm not that big of an asshole.
I mean, like, but I was telling you to just get it all out on the front porch, and either she takes care of it that day, or the people that drive around and take stuff that people leave out, you know, as garbage are going to claim that shit. This was like, remember, did you ever see Risky Business?
Right, yeah, I remember.
Remember when they stole his whole house worth of shit and he had to buy it all back? And they're doing it from the back of the truck? I mean, this was what I was picturing. I like, you know, the last item was the fucking egg, you know? And you were going to throw that out in the street, and she had to go make a football catch for
it. So she, you know, whatever. So she was out that day, right? Because everything was moved that day. And, you know, of course she didn't go easy. You know, lots of calls, messages. I'd block her call, text, you know, I blocked her number. Then there was emails, and then the emails transferred to like Twitter messages and Twitter to Facebook, and I had to block like all the, you know, and look, it was a shitty situation. It was. And I put myself in it. I know I did, but when it got bad, and I said it got bad, she just wouldn't go. Like like she just wasn't having it.
What was her end game? Was she literally like trying to claim squatter rights on this place or something?
I don't know what the end game was, but
it wasn't like she was working on repairing things with you in those 3 weeks, and
she and like a couple times she had asked to, and I was like, no, it's just done. I've got to be, and then she thought I used her for a place, and that's why I was with her. And then when I got my own house and I kicked her to the curb, I was like, well, no, it's because you became a different person. Like if you didn't become that person who was literally just, I mean, like one day in Florida, like screamed at me and Nick were like, what the fuck just happened? Like, no, I am not sorry. No woman's going to scream at me like that ever. Like, I mean, my ex-wife never even did that. It's like, never screamed at, we never got into fights like that. But yeah, I was like, no, I can't. So anyway,
plus
fast forward.
Plus the end of the day, she was rude to Billy Fives.
Right. So, and my mom, like my mom is, my mom and dad are very open and honest. And, if anybody ever meets them, they'll just, my mom and dad were like, yeah, we don't like her. She's awful. Like just straight out. Like she's an awful person. Like you can't be with her.
Yeah.
And I trust them, I trust what they say. So I was like, all this happened. Anyway, so a couple months went by where she would send stuff, and she wrote a letter.
Finally free of her.
Right. She had wrote a letter. The last communication was like a 10-page letter she wrote, just fucking burying me.
Shit.
Burying me.
10 pages.
Like she threw me in the grave and buried me.
Holy shit. I would pay big money to read this letter.
Hello.
Yeah, you there?
There. Yeah, so that was the last communication. That was in 2019, right? So last communication was 2019. Right, okay. Somewhere in 2019. I don't quite remember. Maybe in August or September. Okay, so now my daughter saw her daughter at school. Whatever, Lex would, just say, she gave me weird looks, but no drama, no issue.
There was never. They're never like. I mean, were the kids like? Was the? I mean, during this whole like squatter thing and the yelling at you and in front of people, what was the kid doing? Like, just, was she like, did she look like she was like embarrassed by her mom's ridiculousness, or was this like just? No,
I think it was normal. It was normal, right? And I'll tell you, like, right. Yeah. And part of the thing is, I'll talk about what my thoughts are on dating after, because I feel like this is a hot topic in my life these days.
I know that this pretty much formed your new policies on dating.
Right. It's totally, I wrote a new SOP on dating of my life after this. So once it happened, I had no communication with her. So you're talking from August, September, let's say September, I think was when I got the letter, the last
I'm dying to see that letter.
So I honestly don't know where it is. I don't know if I kept it. I can't remember. I'd have to look and see if I kept it. But anyway, I knew today that I was going to see her. I knew it was going to happen at this thing. So as I'm pulling in, I see her walking. I said, oh, fuck. So now I'm strategically planning in my mind how I'm going to avoid this for the next 2.5 hours or 2 hours, right? So this is what I'm thinking. I've got to avoid this altercation. I don't want to have an altercation. I don't even want nothing. Like, I've moved on from this, and it's time to move on, right?
Yeah.
So as I walk in, you have to go up the bleachers, and I'm on my phone, like I'm looking at my phone. I really wasn't looking at anything. I had my headphones in, and I'm walking, but I've already scoped out where she was, so I knew I had to get past her and to the other side. So I didn't even look. I just walked right past, went up in the bleacher, sat all the way on the other side, and I could feel the eyes on me. But I just kept going. I walked right past her. I mean, it was close proximity. I just kept going. I just totally no-sold her.
10 feet, 20 feet?
Oh, yeah. Oh, 10 feet, easily.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Totally no sold her, kept walking, head down, but I could feel it, right? I knew it.
Sure.
So the ceremony ends. So now you have to go walk over and pick up your kids. So now I'm planning an exit strategy here. I'm literally planning this. Like, I'm seeing where she's going to where I can go to where, like, I've got to be stealth. I've got to roll. I got to, crawl, whatever I got to do. Because I just don't want to have this interaction.
So much effort, like, just so much, like, energy wasted on this.
Right. So this is the best part. So she's ahead of me. She gets her kid. Now I see her walking back from getting her kid, right? So I see her walking back, and I'm kind of standing. I didn't fully walk into the school yet because Lex texted me and said, I haven't been released yet. So I said, there's no reason for me to walk over there if she's not been released yet. So I was standing in the shade so I didn't melt because it was, balls hot out. But I'm standing and I see her in the distance, and there's a pole. I slowly slide behind the pole like I'm like MacGyver or something, and I'm looking. And I waited till she crossed the path of the pole. I went back around the other side of the pole, and then Lex called. She's like, where the hell are you? I was like, I'm coming. Shut up.
I'm behind the pole.
So I went and got Lex, and Lex was like, I knew she was going to be here. I was like, oh, you read my mind. So, yeah.
I like how you, you mangled the metaphor, and I think that's the word, and said, like, MacGyver. Like I don't know that MacGyver was a stealthy guy. He just... he could just make a bomb out of a pretzel and a fucking paperclip,
Right. But so I'm like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. How about that?
There you go.
Yeah. So I got away free, but I know she saw me, and it was I know she saw me. Like, there's no doubt. Listen, Lex was on the bleachers all the way across the other side of the football field, and Lex said, "Oh, I saw you." I said, "How did you see me?" She goes, "You're the only guy with a man bun and wearing his own brand of clothing," because I'm wearing a Breakfast Club shirt. That's exactly what Lex's words were to me today. And I said, damn, you're right. She's like, it's so obvious to see you. Like,
You stand out. Oh.
Right.
Only thing missing was like a pink neon fanny pack or something.
Well, my shorts have neon pink stripes down the side.
There we go.
So Lex is like, I mean, how the hell could I not see you? I was like, damn it. So, like, I know she saw me, and I just, like, I don't want her driving by my house because here's the other part. When she left, she never gave me my garage door opener back or my keys. I had to change all the locks in the house, and I had to reset the garage door opener. And because I called them, they reset it so that one that she had would not work anymore.
Right.
So, fucking unbelievable, this whole thing I had to go through. So a wasp just came at me. I just swung at it, missed it. But yeah, so what an ordeal today. Just what an ordeal.
It's funny because enough time had passed where we hadn't talked about her.
Right.
That when you said that you almost had a run-in with the squatter today, it took me like a minute or two to figure out who you were talking about. Even though basically I was the one that gave her the nickname the squatter. It's just been a while. It's funny it reared its ugly head again. It's funny that her and that other one that showed up to the date already drunk and then got super pissed at you and threw you the hard shoulder when you were at Applebee's or whatever. It's just
right.
Sorry.
Right. But okay. So here's my thing. Now you have to all understand what Lex? Yeah, iced coffee. You pour the coffee into ice. Yes, that was the dumbest question ever. And she made honor roll today. Explain that one. So anyway, here's my thing on dating. So now everybody can understand why my dating experiences have been like so I'm 40 years old. I've been dating, I don't know, since my teens. It never ends well. Like, it never ends well. This one was so mentally taxing on me that I had to rewrite the policy because it was brutal. And I think one big thing is, and living here in Georgia, there's a cultural difference. Like, growing up in South Florida, we have a melting pot of people, right?
Yeah. Like,
we have every kind of race, ethnicity, everything you can think of. Well,
right.
It's very I mean, there's really zero culture. You're either like, I'm an outsider here because everybody else here is from here. They've never left here, and even left as in like most people here have never been on a plane. They've never been. Well, I've only been to Georgia, Florida, or Tennessee, and Florida to them is Panama City. That doesn't even count as Florida.
No, not at all.
Or Tennessee or Alabama. That's the only travel they've done, and it's usually driving. The culture is different. The food is different. But when I talk about culture and people, I don't mesh well with these Southerner like people because they do things so different in their life compared to like how I was raised. It's really hard to like have a relationship with someone like that or grasp like just certain things they do. Well, it's wild.
Are we talking about the overly religious part of it, or the racist part of it?
Well, so like, and this is the truth. Like the religious part is nuts. I hadn't been to church since I was like 12, and I had gone to church with this girl a couple times. But let me tell you how sneaky these fucking Southerners are with the church. Do you know how she got me to go to church like the 4 or 5 times?
Yeah, I know. They had snacks.
Snacks. She's like, Sunday's ice cream Sunday day. I'm like, oh, I gotta go. I gotta go for the ice cream Sunday. The next Sunday, it was Pancake Sunday. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, they make pancakes. I was like, I gotta go. It was Donut Sunday one night. So I went for the food, not for the religion.
Of course.
And I did this like 4 or 5 times. And let me tell you, it's amazing. They know how to get you in there.
Yeah.
With that. You know, I couldn't tell you one thing that was said the 4 or 5 times I went. Of
course not, because all you're doing is thinking about the pancakes.
Literally waiting. Is it over yet? Like, I would look at, but by week 3, I knew when they hit a certain song that we were taking it home. I was like, this is it. We're going home. This is we got 10 minutes left. I know this part.
Yeah.
Because I knew that it was time to go. It was time to go home. And I knew that it was, even one time they had donuts before. And I'm like, can I bring them in? And she's like, yeah. I was like, oh, this is fucking amazing. Like, I got like 4 donuts and I'm drinking coffee that they had. Great coffee there. They had a coffee shop inside.
A coffee shop?
What a way to...
How big of a fucking church is this? This sounds like an old Barnes & Noble.
It was like, this is one of these mega churches where they, they don't pay taxes and they're getting money from somewhere. So it's like...
So it's like a giant place and you're sitting there and and people are literally... It's almost like going to like a boxing event where you're at the event, but you can get up and go get a drink. And come.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So they know how to get you in there. And I will say, going to church as a kid, growing up as a Catholic, church is awful. The church was like actually pretty exciting because they had a rock band. Now we're seeing, but it didn't sound like it because it sounded like you were listening to Creed or something, because it was like a rock band.
I like Creed.
So it was an entertaining atmosphere, to say that. It was very entertaining and very little religious talk and more talk about life, which was cooler because at least it wasn't, and of course they'd tie it back to God, but they would talk about real life situations, and there was some uncomfortable. Like one week they talked about it. I mean, it was like about sex and like, it was like all the shit that I don't follow. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to burn up right now. Like the lightning's going to strike the building because I'm in here. But it was weird. But anyway, they had food. So I got lured in with the food. But I don't even know where I was going with this. But the cultural difference, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
The church, the food, the way they eat, what time they eat. I make a red sauce and pasta and like they don't like it. That's fucking offensive to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's like, we just want biscuits. I was like, I don't need fucking biscuits like that. But so for me, part of my dating, my new SOP is, we've got to have some sort of cultural similarities, or just like, you have to be a little bit of cultured. You can't just be, I've lived in the South and never left the fucking the Atlanta Peninsula over here. They think that it's.
Are you requiring a 4-year college degree?
Right. I'm going to have to start doing background checks. That's for sure. Background checks are a must going forward. For sure. It's just, it's it's tough. Like, I really need to find an Italian girl, because I think that would at least blend the families together.
You'd be 400 pounds. You would be 400.
I mean, I'm not far off from that now.
You are not, but you'd be in a new category, in a new stratosphere of fat. A new fattisphere.
This is true.
Yeah.
True. But yeah, no, it's just I've lived here for a little over 2 years now, and it's tough dealing with. And no offense to anybody that lives in Georgia that listens, but like, we are just not built the same. Just not. Like, it's just No,
I feel
like different.
I feel like, yes, offense. I feel like you have completely judged these people, and now you're burying them.
I mean, I'm just saying, like,
I mean,
not their own, but it's not for me.
I mean, with cause, but still, I mean, it's
right.
Yeah, you're being a little indelicate about it. It's a great story. I think the squatter, dude, you don't understand. Like, I was getting so much enjoyment out of hearing the latest update from you, because you were just being ridiculous, and it would go from like total amusement at the new, like, ridiculous thing that happened. The new update of just total insanity. And within that same like 20 minutes, while we're still giving you the business about it on the chat, I would start to get enraged at you, and I would get enraged at you for not just fucking, like, basically hooking your finger in that back belt loop, picking her up like a fucking suitcase and tossing her out the front door. I was mad at you, and then I was mad on behalf of you as well, because I was getting angry that you were getting that since you had, just because you've chosen to be a doormat doesn't mean you have to that she has to wipe her feet on you every day. You know what I mean?
This is true.
So yeah, this is one of my character flaws, is that I get offended on behalf of my friends, and then what happens is I'll get mad at someone. This happened when I worked for Broder a lot, that he would go on a warpath with someone, and it would be for good reasons, and then I would end up hating that person, and then like a year later, he's patched it up with the fucking person, and I'm still,
and you're the dick,
and I'm like holding the anger, and I'm like, what do I do with this? I'm still mad at this guy. Just because you let it go doesn't mean I let it go, and I'm only mad at them on your behalf. So yeah, I don't know. So I was getting mad at the stalker. Didn't I offer to come up there and just throw all her shit on the lawn? I think I offered.
You did.
Yeah, I think I offered to do it. You didn't want any part of it.
No.
I just know that you stopped volunteering information, and we had to ask for it after a certain amount of time, because not only were you taking a beating at home, but you were taking a beating from us too.
Specifically you.
But I mean, in all fairness, I mean, two things. When you're reading it, you were laughing because you knew.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because you knew. And and I don't even know what the second point was, but yeah, you didn't want to hear it from me because you knew I was right. This was fun.
Well, okay, so now we'll end it with this, because and you were right. I knew you were right the whole time, but so here's what we're gonna end it with. So I saw along the lines of dating. I saw this today, and I held off on it till the podcast. And I was gonna bring this up anyway, but not thinking about the other story till I saw her. So
right,
perfect timing. So I saw someone create on TikTok a dating application. Right? And she makes a TikTok where, hey, I have a dating application. I'm single. I'm looking to get back into it. But this time around, like, you got to fill out an application. And I was like, that's fucking brilliant. That's brilliant.
Like a standardized set of questions.
Right. So I went, it's in her link, in her profile, and I clicked. I didn't fill it out because she's not my type, but I clicked it just to see, and it was literally an application. It was a fucking application to date her. And she's going to go through the applications and call back the people that she wants. It's like a job interview, and I'm like, this is brilliant. Now, here's my thing: if I do it as a man, I'll probably get shit for it, but this woman can do it, and it'd be okay. I don't know. Is that a true statement, or am I just being a bitch?
Getting shit for it from who?
Like, oh, I can't believe you're doing that. Like, this woman is literally going to take it as a job interview.
Yeah, but people that you don't know anyways. It's
right.
Like,
but, I don't plan on dating. I just think it would be I just want to see applications just because I think it'd be cool to read that and see, like,
listen, do it for a week. Maybe we can get we could read a few of them on the air. See, I think
it's funny.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of if you're being honest on your profile, that sort of is an application. It you have to answer height, weight, not weight, but like you have to answer certain things. And I feel like just like on a job application, it's a lot of embellishment there.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. She's going to weed out the bullshit. I'm good at doing that at work, where I can weed out the bullshit applications and say, we're not even going to interview this person, for me, though, I'm a little different and this is probably why my dating life sucks. At work, like, it's so funny because I'm always like, well, let's interview them because what if their resume isn't, as good as, or they're a better person than their resume shows. Right, I do that a lot. Yeah, so
like he's not good in practice, but on game day he's a hell of a player.
Right, so I do that. Like, I mean, for Christ's sake, I hired Rico Suave once at a job.
Jesus.
Right, I mean, and I've made some pretty bad hires at work, but I think whatever, it is what it is. So it's just, I guess my hiring at work is just as bad as my dating life. So I'm burying myself even more here.
Yeah, you should have tagged that with, but not at my new job. I'm gotten really good at it.
Well, I will say the two people I hired at my new job are great. So I will say that.
There you go.
Yeah, but so I don't know. But
how long was the application? Was it like
12 questions?
Oh, okay. But they weren't.
It was like.
Hopefully, they weren't all
your
like
name.
in 100 words. Tell me this.
No, it was literally like your name, where you live, how old are you, your favorite sport. Who's your favorite team? Do you like to work out?
If she got your social and ran a credit check on you or something,
right? I mean, it may have to happen too.
You should.
It's in my new SOP.
Yeah. So. I mean, you're a homeowner. You need to be running credit checks.
Background checks and credit checks are needed.
Yeah. You don't need a.
Don't come this way with no debt.
Yeah, you don't need debt or a raise in your premiums. That's for sure. Right.
For sure. So, yeah, but. It is what it is.
Well, so you survived a run-in with the squatter. That's good. I was wondering if she was when you bumped in her, if she was gonna make a scene or not. Maybe she will.
Yeah, no, it was peaceful.
Maybe she will after she hears this podcast,
though. She probably won't even listen to this. She probably doesn't know it exists.
Maybe. Probably just.
She's blocked from all social media, my friend.
Oh, okay. Well, then, fair enough.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Very odd. Just today's. I need to end today. Got to move on from today.
I mean, it's such a, of course you're going to run into her kind of thing,
Right. But we'll see. Hey, you never know. I may not be around Georgia for long. So,
Oh,
never know.
Dropping some hints.
You never know. You never know.
You never know. All right, dude. Well,
I will say one more thing before we go. I was wearing my Breakfast Club shirt to Nick's game on Sunday, and somebody on his team, his teammate's brother, said, which it was kind of weird. He said, "I always see you wearing the Breakfast Club shirt. Is it a podcast?" That's what exact words were. And so I said, "Yeah." He gave me his phone, and I subscribed to it. So he's probably listening. So what's up? Thanks for listening. Thanks for checking it out. Said he's going to buy a shirt too, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see about that. You said he's on Nick's team?
His brother is, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
So, Yep. And then today, actually, I'm wearing my Breakfast Club shirt today, another one. And today me and Lex went to Publix, and the girl said, "I like your shirt." And I am such a mark for myself. I go into the business, and I'm like, it's a podcast, my shirts, blah, 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 blah. And Lex is like, "That's just the most embarrassing thing ever." I was like, "Why? I'm pushing my brand here." She's like, "It's ridiculous. I've never seen somebody wear their own shirt more than anything else." I was like, "Yeah."
You haven't seen she's met all your wrestler friends. What is she fucking talking about?
Right. Yeah. So.
Has she not met Jeff Snake Master Gardner? I mean, that guy.
Well, I keep her away from some people.
Yeah. I mean, that guy had a tattoo of himself. Are you kidding me?
That's funny. Good Lord. Well, I'm going to go work out because I got Billy Fives to beat up in a couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah. You want to send him any messages so I can tag him in this?
No, he already. I make a mistake of saying something in the podcast with Bobby last week, and I see Billy commented and says, "I hear my name was mentioned." I'm like, "Oh, come on!"
Yeah, you got.
This guy's like fucking Beetlejuice.
You got a little too cocky. You
can't say his name 3 times; he appears.
Yeah, Candyman. Yeah, you got a little.
And then you got Eric. Eric saying he's gonna go. "Oh, I'm gonna go see Billy at La Tub." I said, "What are you gonna see Billy for? Like, what is this? Like, are we plotting something?" He's like, "What? What are you talking about?" I was like, "Why are you going to see Billy at La Tub?" Like, I don't get it.
You're getting a little paranoid here.
I was like, "Why? What do you got business with Billy for?" He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." He's like, "I'm going to go have a cheeseburger with him."
Oh my God! It's never just a cheeseburger with Billy.
Right. I don't know what's going on here, but I don't feel comfortable.
Oh, you better watch your back, buddy.
Unbelievable.
I think all the stars are going to be aligned against you.
Well, if Eric shows up here because he's coming in a couple weeks and he has Billy with him, there's gonna be a fucking problem. Let me tell you.
I am 100% sure Billy is not riding up with him.
I'm changing the locks.
Again, right?
Again.
Change it back. She probably lost the key.
She's probably lost the key by now. Yeah.
No reason to buy new locks. Just change back to the old ones.
Oh God! All right, that's enough. I gotta go work out.
All right, go.
Bye.
Go lift something heavy.
Bye.
Bye.